Hello again. Another week, another week. We are in the middle of September now, 2021. Good to see all you guys tuning in and commenting on my lack of shininess. Yeah. So anyway, hey, thanks for tuning in. I just want to run through some stuff, news this week, news items about new releases, which we keep getting a lot, and stuff about Black Friday, Record Store Day. And thanks again for all the well wishes for my cat. That's been it's been a very trying time, and we're still going through it. So trying to do whatever works to throw it at the problem, but anyway, so day by day. So on lighter notes, let's just go ahead and get to new releases. And before I do that, quickly, I just want to kind of mention a couple of albums that I've heard in the last week that really I thought were absolutely stunning. One was the new album. I'm sure I mentioned these in videos. One was the new album by Low, called Hey What, and I'm not sure how many people know who Low is. They've been around for 30 years almost. Husband and wife team. It's a very sonically challenging album, I'll say. It's not for everybody, but they basically take a lot of sort of normal acoustic sounds or synthetic sounds even, and then deconstruct them to the point that they sound almost more like kind of noise sound sculptures. This album, I think, is a little more accessible than their previous album, which sort of was a shocking sort of being thrown into the deep end of the pool with that kind of thing. And this album was much more sort of accessible vocally. In the mix, you can hear their voices a lot better. So anyway, and it's got some quite haunting things on there, so check that out. Another record that I want to highly recommend is Steve Gunn, Other You. If you haven't heard this album, it kind of is a throwback in a way to the way albums used to sound, as far as how detailed the instrumentation is, and how warm the instruments sound. And his voice is a rather unassuming sort of instrument too, but it serves the music well because it feels very relatable. So it's kind of more of a folk rock vein, where the Low is more sort of like ambient art rock or something like that. So anyway, all right, new things. So I know a lot of you sort of were going crazy this summer when they announced the new Bob Dylan release, the new Springtime in New York Bootleg series, Volume 16. This covered the early 80s period of Bob. And, well, Third Man sort of got in the mix and decided that they would release an album of all of the bonus material on vinyl that was not on whatever Sony was going to put out as the highlights on vinyl. So with the vinyl release, we only have the 2 LP edition of this, which has 11 previously unreleased studio recordings from 80 to 85. And it's kind of in a big presentation. I don't know if you could see this. It's almost more of like a small book in a way. Notes are by Bob Dylan. So that's nice. That runs about $50 though. If you got, I think, well, you had to subscribe to Third Man if you hadn't already to be able to get the Bob Dylan that's coming out there. And I believe that's 4 records of colored vinyl, and it's all the material from the CD box that's not in the the one that Sony put out. Confusing, I know. And then Sony put this out too. This is the CD box, which is very nice. It's a very thick book. It should be, look at how many tracks are on that. Plus, it runs about $140. So, hardcover book, So again, this is 5 discs. So it's a lot more extensive than the vinyl in a way. I don't know why they do that. I'm sure that it had something to do with Bob trying to clean up everywhere. Who knows? All right, other new releases this week. New Lindsay Buckingham solo record. He's been working on this for a couple of years, obviously during COVID. He had a problem with a heart attack a few years ago. Then he got fired from Fleetwood Mac, or I think he got fired from Fleetwood Mac and then had the heart attack or whatever. So I'm anxious to hear that because it's been getting good reviews, and the guy is kind of a sonic genius when it comes to hearing this stuff. So I think Fleetwood Mac's Dreams was just voted as one of the top 10 songs of all time by Rolling Stone, which I have not seen the list yet, but so far what I've heard, it's a very controversial sort of change of sort of the way they're going at these lists. So you got to take everything with a grain of salt, I think, and just kind of say like, well, those are the opinions of blah 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 or whatever. So I don't know. I have my own favorites, I'm sure, that would not be on those lists. So there's a couple of tone poets that come out this week. Right now, all I have to show is Wayne Shorter's The All-Seeing Eye. Lee Konitz has one on the way. Should be here probably later today. Anyway, this has also Freddie Hubbard on it, Alan Shorter, Grosjean Moncur, I can never say that name, James Spalding, Herbie Hancock on piano, Ron Carter on bass, and Joe Chambers on drums. So this has been highly requested, and I think it's going to do very well, as all the tone poets do. Jose Gonzalez, you're like, who? Jose is fantastic. If you've not heard this guy, yeah, he's been around making albums for 20 or 25 years, I guess, maybe 20. Believe he's like Swedish, but has Spanish parentage. So when you say the name Jose Gonzalez, people automatically think Hispanic, but I mean, that's his background. But it's sort of folk rock, very folk, in a beautiful sort of intimate kind of way, usually. This is the indie Gatefold Green first album in 6 years. Rolling Stones, Bigger Bang Live, finally out on vinyl. Multicolored, includes 4 previously unreleased tracks from the Rio show in 2006. Well, R.I.P. Charlie. He's right there in the picture. So I don't know how many of those I'm going to have or for how long. So anyway, don't say I didn't warn you. Samantha Fish, Faster. This came out on vinyl this week, CD last week. Weirdly, it has a song featuring Tech Nine, who, if you don't know who that is, a hip-hop artist. But this is the alternate cover with a poster limited to 2,000. All right, so Weather Station, you might not remember earlier this year, I sort of picked Tamara's new album as one of my favorite of the year early in the year, and I still feel that way. Her new album is great. This is a 10th anniversary of the album. All of It Was Mine, one of her first. So she's been around for a little while. Willie Nelson and the Family Band. This is called Let's Face the Music and Dance. Limited edition of 1,000 copies on gold and black marbled vinyl. I think these are mostly like standards. You'll Never Know, Walking My Baby Back Home, Twilight Time. This one is numbered 880. So they're only 1,000. That's pretty high already. Here's another one I don't think is going to be around for very long at all. Fits in the Tantrums, their first album. Red and blue split colored vinyl. Picking Up the Pieces was the name of it. This, by my feeling, is by far their best album, and they've sort of gotten more and more commercial as they've gone along. More synths, trying to distance themselves from the retro sound, and that's unfortunate because I think that's why people went to them in the first place, was they wanted to hear something sort of real. Nick Lowe, The Convincer. And we've got Niccolo the Old Magic. Let's see. This one is green vinyl. This one is blue vinyl plus a bonus 45. So if you're a Nick fan, you might want to pick those up because I doubt they'll be around for very long. And being on colored vinyl, they're sort of collector's editions. Nancy Sinatra's Boots. This is a Light in the Attic reissue. Very nice, sort of like heavyweight paper sleeve, heavy vinyl. What else can I say? It's got These Boots Are Made for Walking. Got to have that. I mentioned the Wayne Shorter, and I mentioned Ron Carter, and there's a reissue of Ron Carter's album on vinyl. This is called Foresight Stockholm. The pianist is Renee Rosnes, who has recorded quite a bit on her own, and yeah, Jimmy Green and Peyton Crossley. This is from, well, let's see, recorded 2018, so yeah, Ron Carter, if you like bass. Let's see, new album from the Mild High Club. This has been a while. Going, Going, Gone is the name of it. You may know them from their association with this band, which I also have this live album from, King Gizzard. This is Live in Brussels from 2019. So they did an album together maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So check that out. We got Our Lady Peace Clumsy, 90s classic. Finally, these are out very limited, I believe, exclusive white vinyl edition. I wouldn't think that's going to be around for more than a week or two. Another great album from the 90s, Noriega's Nori. If you remember Capone and Noriega. This is his solo record, clear vinyl, blue splatter, features Super Thug and Band from TV. I may have shown this last week, I can't remember. Has Nas, Chico DeBarge, Busta Rhymes, Nature. Let's see, another reissue, Guided by Voices, Isolation Drills, remastered and repackaged, 20th anniversary edition. This is not going to be around for long, I can tell you right now. Will Young, Crying on the Bathroom Floor. People are like, who's Will Young in the U.S.? He was like one of those Pop Idol winners in the U.K., but this is interesting because it's an album of all covers, and he covered all women that he really likes, them or their songs, and they tend to be sort of current. So the title track is by Muna, if you know Crying on the Bathroom Floor, maybe not. But he also covers Daniel by Bat for Lashes, Indestructible by Robin, I Follow Rivers by Licky Lee, Everything is Embarrassing by, why is her name escaping me? Oh, I'm going to get hate mail for that. I'll come back to it. I have her album too, I can't remember, the big one. Losing You by Solange. Yeah, so anyway, they're mostly like female, but modern sort of female that he's covering. That is going to haunt me. Gosh, she dated the guy from... Oh, gosh. This is why I need to make notes. Okay, all right. I think I made notes on most, but I was like, oh, I'm not going to talk about that. All right, fun thing. Ooh, Vince Giraldi. It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. It's on limited pumpkin-shaped vinyl, pumpkin-colored too, of course. I don't have many of these, so if you see this video and you want it, get it while it's hot. All right, a couple of CDs I wanted to mention. Let's see. There's Tommy Castro's Blues Man in Town. Tommy's been on a roll lately. Let's see. And then Ronnie Wood's Mr. Luck, which is his band. They're covering Jimmy Reed stuff. And they did a Chuck Berry tribute a few years ago. So, look, there's a bunch of stuff coming out, too, I sort of want to quickly mention. Next week, the 24th of September, we've got Steely Dan and Donald Fagen each have separate live albums. I'm not sure. I think maybe it's just the CDs next week and the vinyl the following, but don't quote me on that. I'll show you in the video when I get to that. There's also two Sufjan Stevens releases coming out. One is an album of just sort of, it's a big one of ambient sort of music called Convocations. It's like several pieces, one of his big opus, kind of just experimenting really. The other one, and I don't think there's any vocals, it might be instrumental. The other one is an album of songs that are inspired by all sorts of different movies. So I know there's one song on there that's from sort of inspired by Silence of the Lambs. So, but it's supposedly really, really good. People are saying it sounds quite a lot like Illinois, his sort of classic album. So if you're into sort of the more acoustic, folky side of Sufjan, that might be your time to get back on that train. Billy Strings also has a new record coming out. I've had a lot of people talking about Billy in the store recently. Fantastic musician and band. And Angel Olsen has an EP of 80s covers coming out, which has been streaming for a little while. It's a sort of interesting, like, kind of slowed down takes of a lot of songs, trying to find the darker meaning in songs like Gloria by Laura Branigan. The following week, October 1st, there's Neil Young's Live at Carnegie Hall, 1970. I think that's a double record. There's also the Grateful Dead live in St. Louis, 1971. That's a box set. Brandy Carlisle's album, the Tony Bennett, Lady Gaga, and Taylor Swift's Fearless Taylor's version is coming out on vinyl. October 8th, we've got the Coltrane, John Coltrane, Love Supreme live concert from 1965. And then the 15th is the Beatles Love Supreme box set, or Love Supreme, Beatles Let It Be box set. I'm getting everything so swirled around. There's a lot going on. The 22nd, wasn't even going to mention that, but that's the Rolling Stones Tattoo You box set. They've just announced another Lana Del Rey record for that week, a new My Morning Jacket album, and I think somewhere in there now I just ordered the new Mac Miller Faces mixtape on vinyl. And that is probably going to fly out because I think it's so sought after. So, all right. So Record Store Day, Black Friday, what they call it, RSD Black Friday now, I guess, is November 26th. Mark your calendars. We'll be here early, as usual. Interesting list. I don't know. It seems like it's a rather polarizing list in a lot of ways. There was no Beatles, no Rolling Stones, no Bob Dylan, no Prince, or no David Bowie. Those are all like kind of stalwarts of Record Store Day at this point. Prince and Bowie have been sort of absent in the last year while they sort of release things on their own. And I say they because they're no longer with us, so somebody in their management has. But seeing these others kind of disappear is odd, and I'm hoping that there's going to be some late announcements of something exciting being added. But right as of now, it's sort of there's not even a Pearl Jam. In a way, it's sort of an underwhelming list, and so. I know they've had difficulty making things and whatever this year, but you'd think that they would at least want to focus on things that people might really want. So I don't know what's going on in their minds. I don't work at the record label. But if I sort of go down the list of what I saw that really stuck out to me as things people might want, there's the Blue Velvet soundtrack with the... it's like a double record extended version with a new cover. Broken Social Scene has a reissue of one of their first albums. There's a Canned Heat Memphis Slim. Leonard Cohen, Songs of Love and Hate. It's a 50th anniversary edition, remastered. It said it was remastered from analog tapes through a digital process or digital... I think it came from They're like something like we sourced the analog tapes from a digital master or something. So, I mean, it is 50 years old. Maybe they were looking for the best sound. I'm not really sure, but it is on white vinyl. Sam Cooke has a three 10-inch box of called First First Mile of the First Mile of the Way. It's early Sam Cooke. So let's see, Lana Del Rey, her Chemtrails of the Country Club album, or from the over the Country Club. I'm having a rough time today. Which we already have had the regular version of. They're releasing as a colored vinyl with an alternate cover. There's Dio picture discs on there. Hey, it's picture disc time. Billie Eilish has a 7-inch for No Time to Die. It's actually the live version from the Brit Awards and a demo, so it's should be fairly collectible, but they're making a lot of them. Holland Oates live in Philly from 1968 to 71. Early stuff, kind of folkier renditions, I guess, or folk rock takes on some of their songs that they might be doing later. Jimi Hendrix, Paris in 1967, that'll be big. An Iron Maiden picture disc. Chris Isaac at Sun Records, or doing Sun Records songs, seems fitting. Carole King live at the BBC 1971. That's a big deal for people who like, Tapestry era, because a lot of those songs will be on there. John Legend's Once Again, which was his second album, and kind of the one that really pushed him into like stardom. So the first one was good, but that one might be even better. Little Feat, 1974 live. Those I think will be popular. Motorhead live, of course. They're always there. Ozzy, No More Tears. Okay, it's a picture disc version. I don't know if I would say Sony screwed up or what's going on, but they really did not do Ozzy fans a favor when they announced that they were releasing No More Tears on vinyl this around this time, and because people are waiting for it so much, and they're putting out a regular version, but it's going to be almost impossible to find because I think my distributor said something like they ordered, I don't know, 3 or 4,000, got like 300 of them. So anybody's going to be lucky to get one of those. So hey, you've got Record Store Day, Black Friday to look forward to, so you can at least get a picture disc of No More Tears. I think you'd want that if you like Ozzy at all, because it's got Mama, I'm Coming Home and the title track. It's one of his better solo records. Anyway, that being said, okay, there's Poison's Flesh and Blood, popular album. Stray Cats live at Rock Palast, pretty cool. Tesla's Mechanical Resonance. A Kali Uchis sort of seductive looking album in Spanish. Stubbs the Zombie soundtrack, a Weird Al 12-inch. He's doing Beat on the Brat, a Ramones song, which there was a 3-inch record of the last Record Store Day. This will be a 12-inch. Chick Corea and Lionel Hampton live in 78. Aerosmith 1971 live. That's going to be a big deal. I'll order a lot of those. Ray Charles live in Stockholm in the 70s. Miles Davis live Evil in color. Jason Isbell's Georgia Blue, which I think is going to be a popular record. It's all songs by Georgia artists for charity. Some people were saying, oh, it's political or whatever. It's like, well, isn't almost everything anymore? But, at least he's giving the money to charity, right? Judas Priest, there's a best of coming. Katie Lang's All You Can Eat, her probably most pop record. Maxwell's Now, which was a really big album for him, and it has his version of Kate Bush's This Woman's Work on it. Mr. Big's Lean Into It, which has been pushed back from other Record Store Days. I think that's the one with To Be With You on it. There's a Willie Nelson, Merle Haggard, Ray Price hits sort of album. Charlie Parker's Bird in LA. It's a 4 LP from 45 to 52. So pretty old stuff, but if I can say the name, One O Tricks Point never has an EP. You're like, why are you including that? Because Liz Fraser of the Cocteau Twins sings on one of those songs. I think Rosalia is on the other. Art Pepper, there's a 4 LP set. There's an Oscar Peterson 3 LP set from the late 80s that's live. Saigon Kicks Lizard, another sort of like prominent hair metal type band album, sort of grungy, in that mix. Spoon has a 7-inch, a mystery 7-inch. We don't really know what it is because it hasn't been titled yet. Shangri-La's Best Of, You Need Your Leader of the Pack. Dusty Springfield's Complete Atlantic Singles, nice collection. U2's Gloria, sort of like what they've been doing with the U2 releases. I think this one has 4 versions of Gloria from different concerts of different periods. And then the Life Aquatic soundtrack, which was delayed from last Record Store Day. So there's a fair amount of stuff and that's just some of it. There's a lot more on there. You might want to go to the Record Store Day website to check. I have to get my orders in the next week. So if there's something that you are like, please order this, I will do my best. We can't take pre-orders. I can't like reserve anything. And this time I can't sell anything until the day after. They're going back to the old rules. So Saturday morning, because it is on a Friday, Black Friday, Saturday morning at 8 a.m., we can list some of the stuff that's still here. So, be prepared. Yeah, again, I'll say it's a weird list because I feel like some of the most iconic sort of artists were left out. And maybe it was their choice. I don't know. There's so much coming out. That's the thing. When you have a Beatles box set, a Rolling Stones box set, you got like ABBA albums in the middle of it, and Mac Miller reissues, and gosh, I mean, if you looked at my pre-order file right now, I don't even want to think about it because there's so much money tied up in those pre-orders that I'm like, how am I ever going to sell all of this stuff, and maybe it will. I don't know, but as things have kind of started going back to normal with people being in school and stuff, we're sort of going through another change in like business, and it feels like things are sort of plateauing a little bit, and they have to because they couldn't keep going the way that they were. But at the same time, there's a lot to keep in mind as far as like you don't want to overdo it on anything really. So if you have a request, please let us know somewhere, somewhere where we're gonna see it. I wouldn't comment on this video and leave a request here because it's possible it'll get missed. So, send a message through Facebook or comment on Facebook or send an email. That's probably the best. So anyway, all right. I feel like I've been a windbag for almost a half an hour. This is an extra long video. It wasn't supposed to be. I've got a bunch of stuff I got to get to. So thank you all again so much for watching these, and I'll keep trying to present the latest updated information in a sort of personable way without being like, hey, there's that annoying guy again. I'm sure I annoy a fair amount of people, but whatever. They'll just have to deal with it. I mean, it's either that or you don't know what the heck is going on here, right? So, all right. It's like Rihanna. Oh, she's so disgusted. It's funny. I was watching something the other day. This is just a side note. And I guess they just had the Met Ball in New York. And everybody said they were just waiting the most for Rihanna. And she was like the last one to show up, I guess, several hours in. And I thought, I guess Rihanna still releases records? I don't know. I mean, it's so hard to tell with streaming these days because then you're sort of like, and I'm going to sound like an old person, but it's very hard sometimes in the physical world to find out what people are going to respond to by what they're listening to through a bunch of streams. I can't see the numbers of like, oh, this has had X amount of streams. Even if I did, I would never say like, Yeah, BTS is going to have this massive. I don't know if BTS has even really released many records yet for as big as they are in the virtual world. So, okay, now I'm rambling. I just hit 30 minutes. Y'all have a great weekend. Thanks again, and see you next time. Peace.